This is a TSN 1040 hot audio clip brought to you by Universal Supply, Vancouver's largest plumbing wholesaler, where you don't have to be a plumber or a contractor to save big on all the big name brands.
But we got a very special guest on the line, the pride of Vernon and Vancouver, British Columbia, and Davis Cup hero. Vasek Pospisil joins us on the line right now. Thank you for making time. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
You're more than welcome. What a week it was in Madrid. You've had a couple of days now, Vasek, to let it all sink in and reflect. I'm interested to know what's on your mind about what happened last week.
Oh, yeah, it was an incredible week. Obviously, we didn't expect to get so far. We wanted to, of course, and then, as the week kind of started unfolding, we really took so much momentum and wanted to take it all the way, and I think, it's kind of a bittersweet moment right now for me, obviously, and for the team. We made it so far, and we really wanted to win it, and I thought we could, and so disappointing still a little bit, to be honest. But then I think in a week or so, I'll take back tons of positives.
I was going to say, if you go back a week or so plus and say, okay, look, Milos can't play, he's pulled out with injury, and Felix isn't going to be available early in the week, I'm not sure how many people would have predicted this. Then again, as they were saying over there, anything's Pospisil, and you were a catalyst. You were a catalyst, my friend, particularly in singles. Tell us about this Vasek Pospisil 2.0, because it seems like since you've got back healthy on tour, all you do is win.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure. Since the start of the year, having the surgery, I just my goal was just to end the year healthy and then have a good off season and try to do some damage in 2020. But since the comeback, and this is the best my body's felt in 5 or 6 years, to be honest. And since I had my initial back injury in 2014, so I think that and a combination of just working hard and being pretty relaxed on the court, I just really just picked up steam a lot quicker than I expected. And I think if the body stays healthy, which is the main thing, then I'm pretty excited for what's to come.
It's a lot of tennis. I don't know about you, Vasek. It exhausted me. I was quite exhausted.
Just watching.
By the new format. I was exhausted, so I would imagine you were quite tired by it too. We were talking about it. The new format may have both helped and hurt you in the end, because I think you guys rode your momentum, Vasek's momentum, that is, for most of those early victories. But then, what did eventually you feel that as the tournament wore on?
Yes and no. I mean, it was, obviously, it's tough playing a lot of matches, but we had a couple of days off. We actually had a really good schedule, which was an advantage for us, because we had, a day off after the groups and then a day off after the quarters. So it was a lot of matches, but there's pros and cons. I mean, I actually felt physically, a little bit beat after the group matches. And then by the semifinals, I just kind of got into this zone where I actually felt pretty good and relaxed, and so it was just just taking the confidence from winning matches as well, right? So obviously, it's tough. Like I would have loved to have played that on the Sunday, but it's we had Felix who was ready to go, and then ultimately, it's a team effort, and but yeah, I mean, it was still an incredible week, and I'm just thrilled that I could, that I helped contribute and got some big wins for our country and for the team.
Overall, your take on the change in format, period. Did you enjoy? Obviously, you enjoyed your experience, but can you see the complaints and where they're coming from? Hey, I was thinking this. How about the final, Vasek? You go back to a regular tie for the final. That it's a best of 5, maybe not 5 sets, but a best of 5. You go best of 5 in that final at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the first year that they're, that they've changed this format, and I think there are a lot of changes that they can, and improvements that they can make, for sure. I mean, that can be one of them. I mean, maybe have a day off between the semifinals and finals and go best of 5. I'm not sure, but excuse me. I feel like, overall, I feel like there's a ton of potential for this kind of format where you have all the countries in one location. I think it might take a few years to really build that momentum. But one thing people also tend to forget is that, over the years, Davis Cup there has kind of lacked the ability to attract all the top-ranked players to play. So, I mean, that's kind of been one of the big things that's been hurting Davis Cup, I felt, over the years. But one of the really positive things about this format is that you pretty much had all the top players, minus Roger, but also he's doing it, I'm sure, for different reasons, and he's at the end of his career. But so I think with just that fact alone, I think if you look at the positives, it could really be a tremendous event. But nothing's perfect. There's pros and cons, right, of both formulas and formats, I should say. So, but I'm excited to see what comes next.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, your older brothers Tom and Peter were not over there cheering you on, and they have tended to be ringleaders of the Canadian contingent on location at Davis Cup. But I'd like to know what you made of the support you guys had there in Madrid, particularly in light of the comments that came out of the U.S. after you beat them, that not enough people care. We don't get the support of countries like Canada when we play Davis Cup abroad.
Yeah, well, you know what? We had tremendous support, for sure. I have to say the Canadian fans there were incredible, and it makes a big difference, for sure. I think, but right now tennis is really booming in Canada and has a ton of attention, and it has some stars, right? It has Felix, and it has Dennis, who's playing incredibly well. Milos. So there's a ton of traction in Canada, and I think that attracts fans, right? I think maybe the Americans also currently are lacking a really big time player. Obviously, Isner was not there, and whereas in previous years, they had tons of Connors and Agassi and even Roddick and all these Sampras and all these players. So I think from their perspective, I think it's maybe just a little bit of a dry spell. But if I speak just for the Canadian fans and the momentum for tennis in Canada right now, it's massive.
You've name-checked the guys on your side of the ledger, the ATP, but I'm interested, what have you made of Bianca and her year and what she has meant for your sport?
Oh, yeah, and it's massive. I mean, she's the first Grand Slam champion in Canadian history. I mean, I think it's huge for I mean, it just goes without saying, right? I mean, she'll go down forever as a legend of the sport and of in general sport in Canada. So I think that's also a huge catalyst and a huge boost for Canada and women's sport as well, right? I mean, she's really taken it to the next level for our country.
How much do you want to fast forward to January, Vasek? Because you've not only in Davis Cup action, but as we talked about during your fall season, you were chopping down some big redwoods here and beating some big players. Yeah, can you hardly wait for the tour season to begin?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm super excited. I'm really optimistic. Obviously, right now I've had a really great run, and I know that tennis there's always ups and downs, and there's peaks and valleys. And one moment you're on top of the world, and the next you're digging a hole somewhere. I don't know, but I really feel like I'm in a really good spot mentally and physically. So I'm really excited for 2020. I just hope that I mean the year can't start any sooner. I wish I was on the court right now. I have a 2-week vacation, and I'm already thinking I should be on the court training. So I think that's the good mentality, and hopefully I can start strong next year.
What's your standing in the Aussie? Are you in there already?
I'm in. Yeah. I have protected ranking 70, so I use that for the Australian Open. So I'm in the main draw there, which is great, and I'll use that protected ranking for a few other events as well.
What about Olympics next summer, Vasek? I mean, you just missed getting on the podium in Rio. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Tokyo?
Oh, I would love to play. I mean, I would love to play. I know it's not easy. I have a lot of work to do to build my ranking, and I'm playing well enough to do it for sure. But it's also I'm trying not to put pressure on myself for that, because it would be a tremendous achievement to pretty much come back from the surgery and in 9 months get enough ranking points to make it. But that's definitely in the back of my mind. I would love to be there. It's always an honor. It's an incredible experience to be at the Olympics. So to be there for the third time would be huge. So I try not to talk about it, but it's definitely in the back of my mind, and it would be amazing. It would be amazing if
we love seeing you in red.
Oh, do we love seeing you in red? Lastly, here, buddy, and I don't mean to age you, but once the calendar flips over, we're counting down to a milestone birthday, and
oh my goodness.
Yeah, 30 years old. How about that?
That's not good.
Next June. But, Milos wasn't there this time around. Someone was telling me you're high up now in the ranks of player representative on behalf of your colleagues for the ATP Tour, one of the player reps. Mm-hmm. And I think people watched last week and thought a new leader has emerged here. That Vasek has a little bit of Daniel Nestor going forward now for Canada in terms of a leader on our Davis Cup team. Did you get that sense that that's something that happened last week?
That doesn't mean you have to play till you're 62 years old.
No, you can bail out before the Nestor age. But if you were to become like Nestor 2.0 in terms of a leader on our Davis Cup team, a leader of Canadian tennis going forward, how would that strike you?
Oh, I mean, I would cherish that. I mean, I don't know if I would call myself leader of the team right now. I feel like, of course, I'm an older, a little bit more of a veteran, I guess, right now that we have Felix and Dennis, and honestly, I just go there and I don't really look at it that way. I don't think about to be a leader or not to be a leader. I just try to do the best possible things for the team, whatever that is. I know also how important it is to have great team chemistry. So, I want us to succeed. I want the team to do well, and I do everything possible for that to happen. And for as long as I'm on the Davis Cup team, I'll continue to do that. So, whatever that role is, I'm happy to take it. And like I said, I just hope I can keep contributing for the years to come.
Well, I'd hope you feel like a leader when you're playing with Felix and Dennis, because they're young. You could collect babysitting fees. From their parents.
Frank's only 35. The captain was only
that's
35.
True. Yeah,
you guys are all babies.
It's true. We got a young captain.
Hey, enjoy your vacation. Happy holidays to you. Can't wait to see you in Australia. Thank you for the time, and we'll catch up down the road.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, guys.